Hello, it is officially September 1st, and this is a no-buy year. So today, we're going to start taking inventory, and I'm going to start the series off with my base products. So to me, base is foundation, concealer, powder, priming and setting things, brows, and mascara, because no matter what makeup look I'm doing, those are typically involved. Mascara, maybe not, but the collection is small enough, I'll just do it here instead of eyes because we have a lot of things to cover in eyes. Excuse the nails, we're growing them out. There's still a little bit of gel on the tips. However, if all of that sounds good, I hope you'll stick around and keep watching. Also, my Notion template will have been posted at this point, hopefully, and I'm going to be using this to create an inventory database in my Notion for easier tracking, and also when something runs out, if I need to repurchase, I can go back and look at all the things that I've owned in the past to make a better decision and to keep me from just chasing down all the new things. So if that sounds good, let's get started. So in the first basket here, I have what is currently living in my vanity. So I have been using these products. These are kind of my top picks right now for these products in the season that we're in. So we're using that. And also this basket, which if you didn't see in my intro to the no buy, I'll link that video down below. But this is stuff that I'm not as excited about right this moment, and it's going to live in my closet in my office where we are filming currently. We're going to go through my makeup collection once we go through inventory, but these are the things that I'm not currently using. So we're gonna mix these together and see if we end up with any changes, but let's go ahead and get started with priming things. Alright, so this is a lower category for me because I use my skin prep to prime my face for makeup. However, we have a few to go through, so I did include my sunscreen here. So I use a different sunscreen when I'm wearing makeup right now than I do day to day. I'm hoping through this year I'll be able to find one that I like for both. I honestly do like this for both, and usually the main difference for me is a higher SPF. So right now I have the Prequel SPF 50, and then I also have the Beauty Mineral Sun Glow. I love this product, and I believe that this will be in the contender spot for the Holy Grail. However, when I use this up and I'm almost finished with my prequel, I do want to try the Beauty of Joseon just because everyone raves about it. But right now this is the Holy Grail, so I'm going to keep that, and that's going to go in my vanity. But I also have this mini of the Supergoop Glow Screen. I actually do really like this. It's a beautiful finish on the skin. We'll see if I think that this is something worth repurchasing, but for me, I really only need one SPF. So I have two right now. I'm okay with that. We're going to set that aside. Then something that I use for both setting and priming and everything in between is MAC Fix Plus. I was overzealous. I already had a bottle, and then I bought this set at the Nordstrom sale last year. So I'm about here on this one and about here on this one. Eventually I'll probably combine them. One's currently in my vanity, and then I do like having this one that I can decant into for travel just because it's smaller. But I love this so much. This is really the only spray that I need, and we're going to get into that. So this one's going to go in my vanity, and these two will go in my closet. And then sticking with the setting spray kind of vibe, we have one from Jane Iredale. I have used this. It's still wrapped, but not here. This came in a kit with the powder foundation that we're going to get into in a minute. It's fine. It's scented and it is a little stingy, so I'm going to use this up. But as you can see, I don't foresee needing to buy any setting mist until well into the year. This is also in my vanity just because I didn't know where else to put it, and I do want to try it with the foundation to see if it makes a difference and get back to everybody on that. But that's that. And then we have two non-SPF primers. And one's kind of like a multi-use product. It's the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. People traditionally really love products like this. I use it, but it's not something that I think I need. to have all of the time. However, it is beautiful on the décolletage and on the tops of the cheeks as a highlighter too. So I only have one type of product like that, and this one is perfectly fine for me. I have used the Charlotte Tilbury before, but I don't see the need to spend the extra money on it. Especially, this is nice and in a glass bottle. The packaging is not offensive. I really like it, so that's gonna stay, and that is also in my vanity. And then another one in my vanity is from Jane Iredale. It's the Smooth Affair Brightening Face Primer, which I guess I can take out of the box at this point. This again came in the kit for the foundation, and I do want to test it. It's fine. It's not anything to write home about. I don't traditionally like smoothing primers because I don't like that feel. This one feels more like a gel cream, and it has a silicone-y feel to it, but not like the Benefit Professional or even the Glow Screen. Those are more kind of heavy silicones. This does feel really nice, and so I do need to use it and see what it's about. There is a slight kind of orangey scent to it, but we'll use this up, and I just don't foresee me needing this unless this completely wows me. So those are all of my setting sprays and primers. So what's going to go back into my vanity is pretty much everything but the backup of the two MAC Fix Plus. And in true fashion, I forgot to say, as far as the priming setting goes, we're going to do SPF primer, which is basically just a moisturizing SPF, a setting spray / priming spray, and TBD if we want a smoothing primer and a glowy primer. So there are 4 categories there. Moving right along to foundation. All right, I'm going a little out of order here. Plus, I also want to apologize for any weird noises. My husband, I think, is doing something outside. Anyway, to help us inform foundation, I want to start with concealer first. I am concealer rich. This is because my beloved Rose Inc, which I have a current and a backup of, the company was bought, which makes me very sad. This is like my holy grail concealer when it comes to wanting a full coverage, a very good shade match. It is quite brightening. I think if it was like a half shade down, it would be the absolute holy grail. I am happy to have a backup because I don't know what's going to happen with this company. They're definitely out of Sephora, and it's TBD on if there will be formula changes or if it will just go out of business. I think some of these things are getting quite difficult to find a restock on the Rose Inc site, so I'm happy to have these, and I believe that I will use them up, although traditionally it's been like 1 a year because it is so concentrated. But regardless of what happens with this, I will be keeping at least one of these as reference always. So I'm happy to have these. One, the backup lives in my office right now, so we'll kind of put it off to the side here. This one lives in my vanity. I haven't been reaching for it as much, but we're going to get to why. So, I'm so sad about this company. So when it comes to concealer, I like to have a lighter corrector. And right now I have 2 of these. And then I like to have a very full coverage. And then I also like to have kind of like a medium coverage that could or could not be used as like all over. So these ones are typically going to be a little bit more pinky. So the first one is the BeautyPie Super Genius Under Eye Corrector in light medium. You can see I've hit pan. BeautyPie is so kindly sending me another one of these as a gift. I just got the notification this week, which is like a pinch me moment because I've been making BeautyPie videos for 3 years and they have never even known that I existed until now, so that's very exciting. So I will use this one up. The other one I have, I got from a friend's declutter, and it's the Rare Beauty. This is their Under Eye Brightener in Light. This one isn't quite as pink, and I think overall I do prefer the BeautyPie, so I want to pan the BeautyPie and kind of keep this as a backup. I also don't know how old this is, so we'll see how long it lasts, but the goal is to use up BeautyPie, use up Rare Beauty, and then get to the new BeautyPie, so I don't foresee having to replenish this category for quite some time. Then in terms of medium coverage, I think all 4 of these kind of fall in that medium category. The Kosas, which you can see I've made a dent in. I love this concealer, however, it has a very short shelf life, so I am trying to get through this one because I know that it's going to go off, and I typically can tell by the smell changing. It almost smells like blue cheese or something to me, but I love this one. The REFY I need to test a little bit more. This was an impulse purchase, which I don't know how I feel about it. A couple of you gave me some tips, pointed me to Hannah Louise Poston's video. I just haven't played with it enough to even give you a roundabout idea of what I do and don't like about it. So this one has kind of been sitting there ready for me to use. And then the two that I'm using the most right now is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I really, really love this. I also love that it's in a pump. It does get a little dirty, but I just wipe it down when I'm doing my makeup. I really love this. I do think that I will use this one up because it's what I've been reaching for the most, but I have also been trying to split my attention to this one, which is the Pretty Smart. This is a new brand at Walmart. It is the same people who created the Balm, which you know I love, and I still recommend their blushes. So I was very excited to see them come out with a line, especially one that's more affordable at Walmart. This beats out the e.l.f. Camo Concealer that a lot of people like to recommend. I think you get a little bit more coverage than the NYX, but this is more of like true to its name, a serum consistency, where this is more traditional, but I absolutely love this one. So again, I feel like this REFY can almost live in between full coverage and medium because I haven't decided how I feel about it. The Rose Ink is very, very full coverage, so it's going to be really hard for something to meet what that does. However, I'm very rich in the medium category, and I'm going to be rich in the color corrector category. So what I think is going to happen is no concealer purchases for at least 7 months. But the 3 categories that we're going to do is a color corrector, a medium, light to medium concealer that's true to my shade, and then a full coverage that's true to my shade. Because I will say, something as full coverage as the Rose Ink is very hard to sheer down if you're doing just a concealer look, whereas these, I can do just a concealer look, and these, sometimes I can do just a concealer look, but it depends on the finish I want. But those are the 3 categories I'm going to hold myself to this year, and I don't foresee a purchase being needed for probably the majority of this year, unless I really fly through this medium category. So all of these have been living in my vanity minus these 2. So these 2 will go back into the closet, and this is what I will be working through right now. Okay, so within foundation, I'm going to count 5 categories. So we have SPF or tinted SPF, skin tint, Glam, stick, and powder. The only one I could foresee not or getting cut out of those 5 categories is tinted SPF. I don't know that I need a tinted SPF, and if I were to take out tinted SPF, we're looking at like skin tints, Glam, stick, and powder, which I forgot one. So let's get powder out of the way. I have the Jane Iredale powder foundation. I've been getting quite a bit of use out of this. If you can see, we're starting to see the ridges of the pan. Think of this as like a pressed version of the Bare Minerals. I never liked the loose version of that one because it's quite messy. And 2, I never could get it to work how everyone got it to, and I tried all the tips and tricks. However, this one has been good for that, and it has SPF, so if I top it up, I get a little bit of coverage in that regard. It is only SPF 20, and you do need to wear SPF under this, but this is for the days where I don't want to feel like I have anything, and I mean anything, on my face. It's for those very sensitive days when I'm just overstimulated. So I really like this. I impulse purchased the Natasha Denona because I thought I was a true powder girly. I really only need one. This is the one that stays in my vanity. The Natasha Denona is not the same coverage or finish wise at all. I need to play around with it a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll see. I think that I will finish this and then I'll try this and we'll see what happens. But I love the Jane Iredale too because I'll just get a replacement and pop it back in there. So vanity to get through first, and then this will stay in my closet to see if we can get through it. Also, just because my camera, I have limited time to film today and my camera is already starting to die. I will have all of my shades listed down below. This isn't really a shader swatching video. We can do that. If you are interested, let me know down below, but all of the shade names that I use will be in the description box. Moving on to stick, I only have one because all of my other ones were used up or expired. It is the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Stick. I have a love-hate with this. I love having the convenience of a stick foundation, one for travel and two for days when I can't be fussed to blend something in like liquid or powder. I just like the format of a stick. I have that much left, which I know that I can get through. It'll be interesting to see what I go back to after this. I don't love the finish of this in certain seasons of the year. It starts to look, it like breaks up on my skin a little bit. So I think right now is the time to use it. So I am actually going to put this in my vanity. I think that I would like to go back to either the Merit or the Westman Atelier. It's been a long time since I used Westman Atelier. I just love that brand. If I were like a minimal product person, it would probably be Westman Atelier, Phytosurgence, and Victoria Beckham. But we'll see what happens with this one. But that's going to go in my vanity. Then as far as more glam looks, what I mean by that is something that gives me still a skin-like finish, but higher coverage and just an overall perfected look. I have 3 of those. So I have the ItCC Original, and this is a go-to for me. I always get a small size for the summer. The hang-up on me and why I don't use this all year round is the transfer, but I've been playing around with it, and I think that this one's going to be a holy grail at the end of the year. I've gone back to it for years. It serves its purpose. It does a good job. It evens out my skin, and you can really play with the amount that you use, which will help with transfer and also setting. So I absolutely love this one. I've been using that a ton currently, and this summer it's all I used when we traveled to the Dominican Republic. So that's going to stay in my vanity. And then the other 2 I have here are the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation and the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. If you like the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation and you need to save money because this is now crazily $50, I think this is a good product for you. It's not an exact dupe per se, but I think you get the same finish and effect from the e.l.f. for $8 versus $50. I am about here on my NARS. This is a little over a year old and it has a 2-year shelf life. But if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that after a year, this does oxidize from the oxygen that gets into the bottle. I have come to a place where this just isn't looking good on my skin. So this one is up for potentially not getting used in this year and just focusing on the e.l.f. and the IT. I don't want to just get rid of it. I'm going to try it again, but if it can't pass the test, I'm just going to try to find a home for it, or it's just going in the garbage because we're approaching the 24-month. And here's the thing with the expiration dates on products. A lot of people see it as a scheme to get you to buy more money. Some people will use the product until they notice a difference. Here's what I will say about it. Certain things like lip glosses and eye products, I will always abide by the expiration date no matter what, because the amount of bacteria and things on your mouth and around your eyes and the dust mites and the skin mites, around your eyes, I don't play with that. When it comes to complexion, powders, things like that, I do give it a little bit more leeway. There was also a creator, I will tag them if I can find the video, who tested powder eyeshadows that were quite old for bacteria, and there were none. And there's also easy ways to sanitize powder products. However, when it comes to liquids, these expiration dates are not put on there to force you to buy a new product. It's what they've tested for and what is considered safe, and also it's like the best by date with fruits and vegetables. You can eat beyond the best by date, but the peak perfection of the product is going to, and the food is going to significantly degrade after that best by date. So what I'm getting at is I like to play it by ear, and I'll keep using a product until it starts to seem a little wonky. And I don't know if that's what's happening with the NARS or if my skin has just changed. So that was a long-winded way to tell you that, like, I'm not just going to start chucking things. However, if I believe that it is past its prime, it is going to go into the garbage, and we're just going to have to do with what we have. I have plenty of product in all of these categories to last me quite a while, so it's not like I'm ditching this so I can go out and purchase a new foundation. I've got at least 2 in this category that I need to work through. So NARS is on the chopping block, and for that reason it needs to go in my vanity, so I'm going to try to get this test out of the way. I'll also would love to do a wear test between these two to show you the difference, and it's pretty crazy. So that's where I'm at with my Glam foundations. Now, as far as skin tints, I have 4 here. I want to talk about one in particular, and this is going to be the last time we talk about it, saying its name, etc., which is the Youthforia. This is their skin tint. I really love this formula. However, it is a shame that the brand handled the most recent extension of their shade range the way that it did. If you missed that fiasco on the internet, which was hard to, and I'm glad for that, they basically came out with a deep shade that only had one pigment, which was black. Nobody's skin is just black. Also, if you try to change the color, you're just mixing with a black pigment at that point, which does not help in the slightest. Now, I'm not going to go into the depths of that conversation, but when they were called out, they did not handle it well at all. And it's a shame because this product is nice. I like this product. I will use this product, but no longer on camera. The only time that we will circle back to this product is hopefully when I empty it. And that's all. I'm not linking this. We're not talking about it. They need to probably just do a little bit better. Not probably. They need to do better. And that's all I'll say on that. So we're going to keep it, but once it's gone, and that's a shame. Because they had promise as a formulation, but this is a prime example of me not platforming brands that I don't agree with. Now, am I perfect at that? No. Can I possibly know all of the news of all brands? No, but the ones that I'm aware of will not get platformed on this channel. That said, I have 3 more skin tints. I have the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel. I love this product in the fall and winter when my skin gets really dry. If you are someone who's very dry and just can't seem to find anything that remains hydrating on your skin and doesn't break up and look crazy, this is an excellent one. I'm probably down to the last third of this, so this will definitely get panned in the upcoming cooler months. It hasn't been on my vanity because it's still quite warm here in the good old state of PA, so I am going to keep this in my closet, but you can bet your bottom dollar when October rolls around and the cooler months come in, we're going to use this up and pan it. And then the last 2 I have are tinted sunscreens, and I have the Ciele Tint and Protect SPF 50 and the Supergoop Protect Tint 50. I tried this because I forgot my makeup on a trip. I'm about down to here. The Ciele, I have no clue where I'm at. I will say if I had to choose right this second between the 2, it would be the Supergoop. However, I just haven't been reaching for a tinted SPF because I don't know. That's why I don't think it's a category for me anymore. I think it's just going to go with skin tints. And right now, if I had to choose between these 3, it would be the Chantecaille, even though that's kind of a seasonal product for me. I just don't, if I'm going to do a skin tint type look, I usually will just use my concealer. So it'll be really interesting if this category skin tint lives on or not. But those are all of my foundations, and we're going to keep a glam category, a powder, a stick, maybe a skin tint, and we'll go from there. But yeah, look at that collection. We've got quite a bit to go through. No foundation for Rachy this year. All right, moving right along, let's talk about setting powder. Now, I did gift a few because my sister is in the market for setting powder, but I am left with 4 products. So first and foremost, my holy grail of all setting powders, pressed, is the Westman Atelier. I have Pink Bubble, but I have gone through an entire translucent. Not only is the packaging just absolutely elegant and stunning to behold and interact with, this is such a light setting powder. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. I love it so much, and I will continue to use that. But then I have 2 of the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powders. I have the light and then the light pink. And then I also have a House Labs translucent setting powder in the shade translucent. I only have 2 categories for this. I'll always keep a pressed, especially for traveling or throwing in my bag or something, and then a loose setting powder. This is more of a finishing powder too, and these are more kind of setting. Once I get through these 3, it'll be really interesting to see who rose to the top. Right now my money is on the e.l.f. because I don't remember being overly excited or like impressed by the Haus Labs, but I know a lot of people love it. So right now, these three live in my vanity because I'm using them heavily. The Haus Labs is in my closet, but I go through setting powder so slowly because I don't use that much at a time. I don't think I'll be buying setting powder this year. That's my prediction, and we have 2 categories. All right, let's talk mascara. So I have 2 categories for mascara. I have tubing and non-tubing, and this is a place where I haven't really struggled before. I have in terms of opening too many at a time. I think that was early last year or the fall of 2022, but I've gotten much better. I do like having options, and it purely is based on what I feel like taking off at the end of the day. If I'm going to be in the shower, tubing mascara all the way. If I'm going to remove my makeup in the shower, if I'm not removing my makeup in the shower, a makeup remover and a non-tubing formula is the way to go for me. Also, if I'm not leaving the house, I'll use a non-tubing formula, or if I'm not going to have makeup on that long. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but we have 2 categories. Right now, I'm using the BeautyPie Uber Volume Boost Velvet Mascara and Primer. I love the Uber Volume Boost mascara on its own. I had this primer and I just wanted to use it, so this is what I've been currently using. I really love it. I do think the primer gives a little extra boost, especially in terms of length, but I don't know that I would need the 2 system. That's kind of up in the air, and we'll find out about that soon because I've been using the heck out of the non-tubing mascaras lately. So I did get a sample size in a recent order from Lancome. This is the Hypnose Drama Extreme Volume Mascara. We'll see who comes out on top and who gets repurchased, or if I want to dabble in something else, but that's what I'm using for non-tubing, and that all of these kind of are my vanity minus the backup, but I'll add that in when it's time. And then as far as tubing goes, I have the Age Perfect L'Oreal mascara. This is the Easy to Remove Waterproof. This is their tubing formula. It is one of my favorites. It's $12. However, it's kind of difficult to find, and it's up in the air if it's been discontinued. If it's been confirmed, let me know down below, but you can still find this sometimes at Target or sometimes on Amazon through L'Oreal Paris, so it's not a fake. I really like this. However, if this goes out, I'm either going back to the Thrive or the e.l.f. This is the first time I haven't had a Thrive option in addition to what I have open in a long time, so it'll be interesting to see what we end up getting. But yeah, not too bad on mascara, and we'll just keep the two categories, tubing and non-tubing. All right, moving into brows. So I'm struggling on how to categorize these, but the first one is just like a brow highlight pencil. I always love having one of these in my kits. It makes things super, super easy, and I will count this outside of an eyeshadow stick because I do use it for that sole purpose of highlighting. And I don't want to put it with cheek products because I don't use it as a cheek highlighter. It's mainly to highlight around my eyes. But I have this one from Ulta Beauty. It's their dual-ended brow highlight. You get kind of a more goldy, shimmery side and then a matte pinky side. I love having this. It's very similar to the old school Benefit one they used to have. I don't think I'll get through all of this in the year. We shall see. However, I would probably just stick with this one. So I think this is going to be a holy grail for me. But that aside, if I look at my categories, I kind of have it as like pencil, pen, pomade and powder, and then gels. I'm going to make a prediction right now. So the goal is to use all of these up, but the categories I want to put them in are going to look a little wonky because the categories that I do want to have are pencil, pomade powder, and a gel. This is all I need. Really, it would be just 3 products. However, I have these to use up, and this is for the fluffy brow of it all. There's 2 pretty strong hold gels here, one from Live Tinted and one from Got To Be. And then there's a pen. This is for a fluffy brow moment that I don't do. So I'm going to keep these around and use them up, but they're not going to be categories that I need to fill if I run out, unless I grow extra hair and become a fluffy brow girl. So know that these exist, but these are not going to be a category that I'm counting in this no buy. However, these 3 products are going to be counted in my brow. And as I'm actually thinking through this, it's only going to be 2. It's only going to be 2. I don't use the powder that often in this product, so I know I'm not going to run out of it and I can just keep this one. I do use the tinted wax, and I consider that a part of this gel that I have here. So we're going to do a pencil and a tinted gel. 2 categories for brows. So from a pencil standpoint, the one I'm using right now is the e.l.f. Precision Brow Pencil. I love this. This is such a beginner friendly or a fast brow or a thin brow. If you struggle with your brows, I implore you to try this one. It's also, I think, $6 to $8, and it's just great. You run through brow products super quick. I think I have quite a bit left of this one, which makes me happy. I do think you get a generous amount of product in this. However, when that is used up, I really need to finish this Benefit Volumizing Brow Pencil, and it's going to be a lesson in not overbuying makeup because I go in and out of love with this and it just lasts forever. I've been using it so long, but I think we can use it up, but it will be a little bit of time before I need to repurchase these, I think. So that's that category. In terms of the tinted gel or wax, I have the e.l.f. Bite Size Brow Palette. Love this. I've already hit pan. I don't think it'll be hard to use that up. And then the other one I've been using is the Wow Brow from e.l.f. and I think this is my favorite. I don't know that it's Holy Grail. I think once I'm done with these 2, I'll be going back to the Merit because that is my Holy Grail, but we shall see. But yeah, there's my brow products, and we're counting 2 categories there. All right, here are all 29 products going into my vanity. This is just for base. So foundation, concealer, setting powders, primers, SPF, sprays, mascara, brows, and concealer. We're very rich in this regard, but this is everything going into my vanity. And I said, what, 29? Yeah, 29. All right, and here are the 13 that are staying in my backups pile. So in total, we have 42 products. I hope I did that math right. I'm going off the top of my head. 29 plus 13. Yeah, 42. So 42 base products, and how many categories? 42 across less than 15 categories. So we've got our work cut out for us with the base products. However, I would say I'm using base products more than everything else. So, we can do it. We can do it. All right, there you have it. Base is wrapped up. I've got my stuff to take to my vanity and to unload in my closet. I hope this was fun for you to see what I'm starting the year with and get some counts. The counts will be listed down below, as well as the shades that I use. Again, I'm on a time budget, so we can't go through all of the nitty-gritty details, but let me know if there's anything in particular you would like more information about or to dive a little bit deeper into, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye.